SREB Project-Based Learning incorporates 6 powerful practices. This video will focus on one of those practices, planning authentic, intellectually demanding units of study where students will master significant content and skills.
Saying we are planning on having a joystick and a backup camera, but we also are going to have a secondary drive control as well.
The most authentic PBL units ask students to take on real challenges where their solutions will be used by real people. The more authentic a PBL task, the deeper the students engage in the learning process.
Some days she's got greater reach, some days, she's back here. So I first got introduced to the project of Go Baby Go at a continuing education course that I went to for my physical therapy license. The instructor briefly mentioned it. I jotted it down to research it later, looked at their websites, and watched his TED Talk presentation.
When you push on it, if a parent needs to pull.
So I contacted Mr. Freshour and said, please point me in the right direction. Who do I need to be in contact with? A few hours later, I believe he contacted me back and said, I'm your guy.
I'm lucky to work in a technical center, so I knew that I had some people that I could contact, like the electrical technology class, the engineering class, therapeutic services for the medical side, because obviously this is really based on the medical field. And at that time, we also had an early childhood development program.
So he almost needs held up and back a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a support, plastic support that comes out and it's gonna hold us.
The basic premise of the Go Baby Go was for independent mobility, but it also is used as therapy tools for these kids to be able to improve their cognitive skills, their social skills, motor skills.
Sorry, it's gonna go right there.
I had several conversations with those instructors to ask them how could that be integrated into their coursework. What type of content standards are covered in a course like therapeutic services, because I don't get a chance to work with those students very often.
We're gonna put the seam wall up so we can fit the board back here. Well, the board's gonna go like up, because we need to readjust the seat. We ordered this car and then we watched the video and we were given a pamphlet on the parameters of this car. We checked off lists what we need on the car for safety reasons and what the parent needs and wants. And so basically we decided to attach 5-point harness because that's needed and a backup camera because they can't turn their heads around. Okay, so should I move this and
You can if you think you need to.
Well, if I put a bar across, would that hold it together?
It'll hold it.
We're all really passionate about this project. We really like what it's doing, what it's standing for. It's students not only getting an education, but helping other kids in what they want to do. Helping other kids who might not be as fortunate as us be more sociable and have a better school life. And we get knowledge out of it and college credits and all kinds of stuff that'll help us later down the line. So it's a win-win for everybody.
So we removed the steering wheel and we're working on adding in a joystick so Hayden can just move it with one arm instead of using his feet and his hands. And that was also at request of his parents because they want him to eventually be put in a motorized wheelchair.
We can do cool things with lighting in any project, but this project has a lot more meaning because I know it's going to help someone and just improve their daily life.
Learning in a PBL unit is mapped out so students master content without compromising intellectual demand.
For teachers who are looking at doing something like project-based learning, it can be scary. I have 30 kids in front of me, 35 kids in front of me, and you're saying let them go. Well, no, not really. You're saying give them a choice, give them a deliverable. Depending on the maturity, give them a certain amount of time. I mentioned that we give our freshmen 15 minutes, and then we ask them to report what did they do in that 15 minutes. And then 15 minutes again, and then 15 minutes again. And that develops a rhythm, but it develops a responsibility. Start small, let a kid deliver a very clear product, simple product. Give them some variation in it, and then start to stretch it and start to stretch it. Kids will take advantage of it in a positive way.
So how our project started is that we got a trip to the botanical gardens, which are the popular gardens here in Atlanta, and we looked at all the plants and different species they have there, which are vulnerable to flooding. So after we assessed what plants would get affected, we went to the school and we started our official launch of the project, where we introduced the problem, like if Lake Lanier were to have their dam broken, then what would happen? So for our project, we made a VR simulation because we were passionate about VR and how it affected society now, and we wanted to incorporate our new dam design to be more environmentally friendly. And you don't have to glance over this one slide because this one just explains it more in depth.
Yeah, I mean they're both technically direct effects, so it would fit under the same slide, but we don't really have that much time.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, remember this is just a practice presentation.
Yeah, okay.
So, we got this.
Are you guys ready? And I'll do this when there's 2 minutes so you have an awareness, okay? All right, let it rip.
So I'm Natasha,
I'm Ian.
My name is Ismail Oramis.
and our project is what would happen if the Beaver Dam were to break, and what type of dam would be better for the environment and for our community.
Lake Lanier, if it was to flood, it would cover about a square mile area, stretching all the way down to the city of Duluth. And the areas on this map in yellow are the ones that are prone to flooding mainly.
Entire cities would be destroyed during the flood, and many people would lose their homes due to the devastation of the flood.
So as you said before, for environmental effects of flooding, we have point pollution, which means it comes from one source, such as the sewer water, because that will get influence into this flood and therefore destroy the terrain, having waste inside of it as well.
Let us get Mr. Trump to try out the virtual reality headset.
As you see in this scene, the flood that would arise from the destruction of Beaver Dam would destroy Sugar Hill, as Lake Lanier has an average depth of 1,170 feet.
Awesome. Golf clap. Bravo. Project-based learning can start with nothing. It can start with popsicle sticks for all I care. As long as there's room for expression and differentiation and individuality, creativity.
Kids want to learn, but they don't always want to learn when it doesn't relate to their life and to something meaningful. So this project has been extremely meaningful for them, and they're receptive to any type of knowledge that you want to give them.
Because it really lets the kids learn at their own pace, and I think this is a better classroom environment because here we all work on what we want to work on, and we all come closer, not just as students but as friends. I think it'd be really beneficial for the next generation to have something this intimate that really shows them what a work environment really is.
You know, our first participant, when he first got introduced to Go Baby Go, he was not walking independently, and now he's walking without any support. And I really hope that, you know, Go Baby Go had an impact in creating that freedom and that independence.
We're so proud of our kids. Biggest picture-wise is they're learning how to communicate with each other, with professionals. We had one businessman come in and he's opened our school year to our whole school, and he said, the kids in that program, I'd hire any one of them right out of high school because they're ready to just try solving a problem. That's what PBL can lend. So if we can help them become a problem solver, a person of courage to try, we're making a magnificent citizen.